Late Lunch, tended by Ramsey Garden Centre.
And Fastamai, good afternoon. Welcome to Late Lunch with me, Beth, H and Christy as well. And Christy, where are we?
We are in the beautiful Bailey Scott Hall in Onchan for another in our Village Hall series. Very excited to speak to everyone here. The hall is packed as usual at these events. Lots to tell you about.
It's going to be absolutely brilliant. Lovely to have a couple of hours here, H.
It is, and I can see the biscuits downstairs. People up here. That's used for all sorts of stuff. We're going to find out more.
We certainly are. So do stay with us here on Late Lunch. There's going to be loads of photographs and videos on the Manx Radio Facebook page. But first of all, we're going to start off with a tune just to get us in the mood.
Manx Radio.
And here we go. That was fantastic. Luther Van Dross bringing us into Late Lunch. We're out and about yet again, as is so often the case these days, outside broadcast. And here we are up in sunny Onchan. It really is sunny as look across the wall. There's sun shining through. And if you look there, Beth, look at that. You see, you've got the hearts from the window there, from those lovely stained glass windows coming across and being on the wall. Really pretty, isn't it? Fantastic hall. Where are we again?
We are in Onchan at the wonderful Bailey Scott building, and we're going to find out a little bit about the history of this building now. We're joined by Peter Corey. Peter, what's your association with the Onchan Village Hall?
Well, I'm here with two of my other two committee members. We've been on the Hall Committee since 1995 now, so it's 25 years coming up in April next year. Joan, if you speak to Joan, she'll tell you more about how the committee was first started.
So, Joan Collins, you've been involved for a number of years as well then?
Same length of time as Peter. The committee was formed with Canon Bagley. He was here at the time and he was due to retire, and his wife was the booking secretary, so he wanted to leave the hall in good hands. So I was the PCC secretary and Peter was the treasurer, so he wanted us on, and they wanted to know, we found out prices of other halls because we weren't having many people using it at that time, so we got different prices and we went on from there, and we have done an awful lot. We've done how many themed evenings? About 5 or 6 themed evenings.
Yes, raising money has been a big issue for us.
And that's mainly for some of the restoration work as
well.
well.
Yes.
We've had some. I love this building. It's fantastic. But it is sometimes a love-hate relationship because, you know, when you walk in and you find you've got dry rot, you have an awful lot to do. So we had to raise a lot of money. There was a public appeal actually started in 2003, which raised a lot of funds, but that ran out in about 2009.
Well, Peter has been very good to write to different people to get funds, which they have, and he got grants for us, didn't you, Peter?
We had a couple of grants. The government aren't so generous now, but we did. But a lot of other charitable trusts, and a big thank you to the Manx Lottery Trust who gave us 30,000, and that's helped us to finish the hall downstairs, which you've seen, which is fantastic.
We've saw some of the photographs that you sent us, and it is just amazing what's been done here. And Elaine, you're the chair of the committee.
I am the chairman, but I'm also the booking secretary, which I've been doing that for 25 years as well. It is like running a small business because we have people in every day of the week, in the daytime, in the evening. You'll meet some of the others, Stage 1, Jackie Hawkes and Sonia Callan, who are our biggest users of the hall and she's been using this hall actually, I think, 25 years as well for Jackie, probably.
A goodly number of years now, So as chair, does that mean you're in charge then?
Well, I like to think that I am. Maybe that's Peter that's in charge, this Peter that's just come in.
Oh, Peter Kelly is
Peter
in the building.
Well, yes.
So lovely of you to have us here today. Thank you so much. We are going to hear much more about what the hall is used for, a little bit about the history of it as well. I can see Jeff Jepson has arrived in the building. We're looking forward to some live music a little bit later.
Excellent.
But I think time for a Manx word of the day. All this week, the school children from Braddon have been giving us a word in Manx that we have to try and work out in English.
It's been a verb, hasn't it? A doing word.
A doing word.
So I think we've had, what do we have?
We have had drinking, we've had crawling,
right.
We've had...
Crawling yesterday, that was a tricky one, I thought. That was a tricky one. Fooled a few people because it was swimming and sort of crawling. But they're all doing words, something that you do every day. Some of the words are very short, and some of them don't seem associated at all with what you actually might think the action is. So
well, that's helpful.
I can't say more than that.
Okay, let's hear the word now. We're just going to give you one chance to hear it now. There will be another couple of chances throughout the programme. Everybody who gets the right answer and sends it into 166 177 goes into the draw, and we're going to be giving away a Manx Radio water bottle a little bit later in this hour. But this is today's word.
The Manx word of the day is...
Oh.
What is it? Gee.
Gee.
Gee? Does
Gee.
anybody know what gee
In Manx.
means?
Gee?
Gee?
No.
No, we're
Shaking
getting
heads all round here.
Shaking of heads,
No,
okay.
no,
Well, if
there
you
you go, you
think
see.
you know what it is, it ends in an ing, okay. It might be, is it, I don't know, something that we all do? Is it
The
Howard?
only ghee I know is the sort of the butter you put into Indian dishes, clarified butter. That's ghee.
Okay, let's hear it again.
The Manx word of the day is...
Does sound like ghee.
How do you spell
Gee.
it? Is it
think it is-
G-double-E?
It is G-double-E, I believe. Yeah.
Right, so G for
As it sounds.
garden, E for...
Eric,
and E for elephant.
Ernie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think you know what that means? 166 177, and you will go into
I
the
don't know
draw.
whether that's an instruction to me. If it is, I'm taking it to heart. Leaning back in the chair downstairs, I've managed to prize Beth away from the biscuits, so it's good news all round.
Well, I didn't steal one just in case they weren't meant for us, so I was very good.
Could have been for Taylor Swift, of course.
Could have been, yes. It's Late Lunch live from Onchan Village Hall this afternoon as we continue our Village Hall series. We have got the Manx word of the day going, though, as well. The school children from Braddon have been providing us with words all this week. If you know the answer to this, then you will go into the draw and you could win a Manx Radio collectible water bottle. Let's remind ourselves of the word.
The Manx word of the day is...
Okay, so it's G-double-E. What
Gee.
does it mean in English? 166 177. Well done to Del in Andreas, who's got the right answer so far.
Oh, well, that's pretty good going there, because it's a tricky one. I think some of them have been, they started off easier, and as the week's gone on, they've got more difficult, more challenging, I reckon. So it's well done if you're getting it right.
Okay, still time to get into that draw, but we've moved downstairs. It's a little bit quieter down here.
We have. It's lovely. And you come down to this basement room, and I'm sure a lot of people come into the main hall and recognise that gorgeous hall upstairs. Some people might never venture down to these lower, into the bowels of the building, all beautifully done up now. And we're sitting in the corner of this fantastic function room, set out this lovely old sort of fireplaces in the corner again. We'll ask in a moment to see if they still go. They look like they're real, don't they? They might still
really
go
do,
for all I
yeah.
can do. And we're joined by Keith Watson and also Peter Kelly here. And Keith, Onchan Heritage, you've been meeting here for, what, how long? Decades? Years? Centuries?
No, since just after 1986, in the late 80s. Yeah, Friends of Onchan's Heritage was formed after the Year of Heritage in 1986. There'd been a committee set up by the commissioners in 1985 to go into the Year of Heritage, and after that had happened, the commissioners were going to disband the committee, but Karen Corkle, a school teacher who was on the committee, said, well, heritage doesn't stop, you know, let's continue on. So to enable members to come along, they formed the Friends of Onchan's Heritage. I wasn't involved in those days, though.
But going from strength to strength now.
Yes, we meet every other month, especially throughout the winter. We try and get a couple of outside events in the summer, but in the winter months we go right throughout the winter every other month, and we always try and keep the topic of our speaker or slideshow or whatever to an Onchan related subject. Not always, but we try to, yeah.
And the village does have a real, because we've spoken about this before, Beth. I think we've done a couple of things on Tammy Ginders and a couple of other programmes. It's got such an incredibly rich heritage in many ways for what is a relatively small space.
Yes, it is really, you know, the old Onchan village is a small area. Obviously, the village now has expanded a lot with the likes of Ballacurry and Birch Hill, Lakeside Gardens. But we're very fortunate. We always get a good attendance, usually about 40 people to a winter's evening meeting, which is good.
And Peter Kelly is captain of the parish of Onchan and also a trustee of the hall. And just before we came on air, Peter, Howard said, do you remember the first time you walked into this hall? And you've got quite a long memory of it.
I got a long memory. Well, yes, I can recall as a very small child being brought here by my mother, and we had to come down the steps on the outside and in through the back door into this very room. And this very room on a Friday was used by the district nurse as a clinic. And here you would come with your coupons and get your concentrated orange juice and also your cod liver oil. I have to say I preferred the orange juice. Cod liver oil was pretty awful. So that's my earliest memory of coming to the hall. I also came to a Christmas party not long after I'd started school, and the Onchan branch of the British Legion held a Christmas party for the children of those who had served in the war. My father was actually a Japanese prisoner of war, and we had a ticket. And we came, my cousin Margaret came as well, And we had a bit of a problem because we were upstairs in the hall, and then downstairs they had a film show, and we went out to go to the toilet, but the man on the door wouldn't let us back in. So I have this terrible memory. And then once I was 8, well actually I was 8 and a half, I joined the Cubs, and we were upstairs playing, throwing balls, which broke some of the stained glass, I'm fairly certain, in the doors, of which I've made recompense since. And yeah, it's been a happy time, and it's been a centre for the village, for many clubs and societies.
And I was just thinking, I think someone else is having a go upstairs, running around now. It's having a go at the windows as well. I was thinking, with you were saying about your memory more recently. I wouldn't mind betting. I think those who've been listening to Manx Radio for a few years will remember Kelly's Eye. You must have been here doing Kelly's Eye at some stage with David Collister.
Yes, we've done Kelly's Eye from here. Can't tell you when. I mean, we did 1,000 programmes.
Yeah.
It went on for 20 years and 4 months. So yes, it was certainly included at some point. Yeah.
And being such a significant piece of Bailey Scott architecture with your Victorian hat on, if I can put it that way, I mean, it's truly is an important piece of the heritage.
Well, it is, and the Isle of Man Victorian Society, who meet elsewhere purely because of numbers and the hall is not big enough, we have been here a couple of times. We had a Victorian fashion show in the hall. That was with Daphne Corlett. That included underwear. And one of the poor girls had bloomers on with a trapdoor at the back, and as she turned to go back up the stage, Daphne said, "Now open the trapdoor." She wouldn't. I don't blame her.
It gets better and better, doesn't it?
Yes, it really does. This is Late Lunch, live from Onchan Hall this afternoon. We're going to be talking much more to the people who use this hall, and talking again about the funding, which is so vital to keep this piece of heritage alive. But we're also joined by Jeff Jepson. We were going to talk to you in more detail later. But Jeff, you've agreed to play for us.
I have, yes.
And you're eagerly, yeah. You come here quite often?
Well, I actually did a gig here. I was just looking through my events calendar. It was amazingly like 3 years ago. It feels like last week, because my band and I have played in a lot of the little village halls around the island. And we had one here, in like 2016, and it was a beauty.
I realise that just sounded like a really dodgy chat-up line there. Sorry. Jeff, what are you going to sing for us now?
I'm going to sing a song called Here Comes Trouble.
Well, that's quite apt as well. Take it away. You can see the video on the Manx Radio Facebook page.
Trouble in a heartbeat. Here's another siren song to avoid. Better prepare yourself for the storm that's coming ashore. Dry land's going out of fashion. Everywhere a sea of trouble for us. Whether to climb that peak or just dive in deep, I don't know. Tripping over teardrops, living every awkward moment for you, waving a handkerchief in the face of grief, and I don't buy this laughter for a moment, 'cause nothing ever can be funny again. As long as the clowns are running the show, I'm staying in bed. I'm diving undercover now. I'm hiding in the dark, I won't come out. I'm diving undercover now. I'm hiding though I know I will be found. I know all the world will find me out. All the world will find me out. Here they come, better find a safe place. there'll be no one left to stand up for you when they are finished with the poor souls at the front of the queue. I'm diving undercover now. I'm hiding in the dark. I won't come out. I'm diving undercover now. I'm hiding though I know I will be found. And now all the world will find me out. All the world will find me out. All the world will find me out. Here it comes, trouble in a heartbeat. Here's another siren song to avoid. Better prepare yourself for the storm that's coming ashore.
Jeff Jepson, wow, it's incredible. I'm in total awe of people who can just stand in a room no matter where you are and perform like that.
Go
We're going to be
for it, yeah.
hearing much more from Jeff a little bit later. This is Late Lunch. We'll be back just after this.
The Manx word of the day is...
Super Trooper, yeah, one of my favourites. And Beth has been silently dancing around the floor to that one, much to the amazement of everyone else, who, of course, can't actually hear the music here. So it does look like a silent disco going on.
It is weird, you can't help it, can you? We are live from Onchan Hall this afternoon. It is the Late Lunch Village Hall series. And let's just put everybody's mind at rest with the Manx word of the day.
But you're going to see out of the misery then for a moment.
Something like that. We've got quite a few people who've got the right answer, actually.
More
Ryan
than I
Kelly.
thought.
Yeah, Ryan Kelly's got the right answer. Well done to you. You've gone into the draw. Helen's got it right as well. And Richard got it right. Who else has got it right? Oh, Lynn and Sylvie thought it meant turn right.
Turn right.
Yeah, that would have been an interesting one. But no, Lynn, that wasn't right.
Good call. I mean, not right. No, not right. Very
Oh,
good.
not right. Let's hear what the answer was.
The Manx word of the day is... which means...
Eating.
Eating. We have learnt a lot this week, I think, haven't we? I think we're doing pretty well.
We've almost got a sentence together.
I
now,
know,
haven't we?
it'll be a bit of a weird sentence.
That'll keep
but,
us going for a week or two in speaking Manx.
Everybody who got the right answer throughout the week for the Manx word of the day has gone into the draw, and somebody now is going to win a Manx radio water bottle. Can we have an ooh from the crowd, please? They're
Excitement's
good.
man.
That wasn't even
Excitement's
rehearsed. Amazing. Okay, so
I'm quite excited myself now after that, actually.
the winner of the water bottle this week is Grace, age 10, who got the right answer yesterday, and she was on her way to the airport, do you remember? With her sister Olivia, I think it was, to go to Liverpool for Olivia's birthday. So well done,
Where
Grace.
they will be
right now.
eating.
Oh yeah, they will be eating. They won't have heard that they've won, but they will on their return. So we are learning a lot about the history and heritage of Onchan Village Hall. And I'm just going to talk to Elaine again, chair of the committee here. Just give us a rundown of some of the people who use the hall, Elaine, to put you on the spot.
Okay, well, just walked through the door, Jackie Hawkes from Stage 1 Drama. We also have pantomime rehearsals, which Sonia Callan usually organises. We have a badminton club. We have Mothers Union from the church. We have Ladies Fellowship from the church, Onchan Heritage. And we've just taken on... Pilates, and we've just taken on some new groups, two of which are mums and toddler groups. Moo Music, twice a week.
Sorry, did you say Moo Music?
Moo Music, so it's farm-based activities. So that's Tuesday, Thursday morning. Also Singing Joe and Co, who go around the various schools, so she's in on a Monday. And we're hoping, I think they're going to take it up, we're having a group in this hall, this lower hall, a Bulgarian group, who want to continue their culture for their children who were born on the island, who speak English, but they're wanting for them to learn Bulgarian and to keep up with their traditions. So they're hoping to start a week on Sunday.
What a great example of a community space.
And
So
lots of birthday parties. Lots of birthday.
I like the moo music. I
Moo
can
music,
see
I
you
knew
doing
that.
the moo music as
Can
well.
you?
Wendy
Thank you.
McDowell's here as well. And Wendy, hello, lovely to see you. your association with the hall must go back a few years.
Quite a few. Probably since I was married, about 57 years ago, something like that. But lots with the Sunday school and rehearsing the children for the anniversary and so on. But latterly, entertainments, various entertainments to raise funds for the upkeep and the restoration, because I absolutely love this building. I just adore this building. And what the committee have done over the years to restore it is just absolutely amazing. I mean, I remember this room with the old fireplace and well, I think it was just about... Sorry, Joan, you'd remember it more.
Well, Ladies' Fellowship used to be down here, and also the PCC meetings as well. And there was a very old fireplace and the gas thing. We used to have to put a shilling in the meter, and it was quite cold as well. But now it's lovely, this restoration. It's beautiful.
And this is the last bit of restoration, yes, I think, of it. But, you know, you can see from the whole building, I mean, it's just absolutely wonderful, I think, and needs to be retained. But the committee over the years working hard, because of course being a listed building, everything costs so much more, and so they have needed funds, and the committee have organised special themed evenings, you know, and we've had such fun, have we not? Yes. We've had French evenings, Italian evenings, Spanish evenings, Manx evenings, you name it, yes, themed evenings, and then I sort of managed to get some people together to entertain, and this is what we've done over the years for a long number of years now, I think, and hopefully it's helped to put all the beauty back into the building. So,
and that's the thing, because it's such an iconic building, you can't really imagine Onchan without St Peter's Hall here.
It's really the centre of Onchan Village, if you like, isn't it? It's part of us, and I hope it'll continue to be used as part of Onchan Village, because it used to be known as the parish hall, but I think it's known as the... Is it the parish hall now? Yeah.
Oh, it's a bit controversial, this one.
Do you need to speak to Peter Kelly about that?
We'll speak to him in a moment, actually. He will give the definitive answer. And Elaine, I was going to ask you if anyone's listening and they'd like to use the building, but I'm not sure there's any space left, is there?
Well, I'm sure we could find some space for some people, you know, whoever, yes, yep, definitely. They can contact me on 41669, my mobile, and yes, I would try and fit them in if I could.
Wonderful. Lots more to talk about. It is just coming up to around 10 to 2. We'll be back just after this.
And that, Beth, was Jack Sabaretti and...
Sigma. It's our record of the week. It's a grower. We keep saying it.
It wasn't Camilla Parker Bowles. I thought it was, but you say it wasn't.
No. This is Late Lunch, live from St Peter's Hall in Onchan. We're going to have the discussion about whether it's a parish or village hall a little bit later.
You don't want to be stirring it.
I am a little bit.
We haven't had our biscuits yet.
I am a little bit. But we're going to talk to another Onchan boy now. Dave Kilgallen, do you remember having a party here as a nipper?
Oh, definitely, yeah, when I was younger. And also had a party just a couple of years ago when I wasn't so much of a nipper.
A bigger nipper?
Yeah, a bigger one, yeah.
But we keep hearing about just what a pivotal point of the community this is. And as somebody who's grown up in Onchan, is that true?
Oh, definitely. And, you know, I always remember it from an early age as well, coming here for events. But just the building itself, the architecture is on loads of postcards, and that's something that's very dear to me. And every time I've been looking for a hall, this is always the first place I come to, because we've had McLear play here, we've had birthdays, we've had all sorts of things, and rehearsal space. It's great. It's got everything you need, you know. But it's so busy, you know. And Elaine, when I speak to Elaine, she says, "Sorry, you can't have that night.
Yes.
Someone else is already
Might be able to squeeze you in."
Oh, Elaine. But we're going to talk about something that you're very involved with, which is coming up not so far away. We have to mention the C word, don't we?
Yeah, I know. It's Christmas, I'm afraid. But no, it's well, we like to think of Manannan's Winterfest as the beginning of the Christmas, as the festive season, really. And last year was our first year. We had a really good turnout for that, and it was just really magical, getting loads of musicians and dancers and performers together, and just kicking off the festive season. It was lovely, and we're doing it all over again.
So what's happening this year?
Well, this year we have some traditions that we're repeating. Alexandra Slate is coming back to sing for us again, and Kate Dowman, an opera singer, and she also has her own album as well. So she's coming over to sing. May Chalice is coming as well, so she's doing a few more popular numbers, and concert brass alongside the Ballycottia School Choir It's going to be a lot of people on stage, but it's going to sound and look really impressive.
Terrific.
Magical.
And a sort of mixed bag of music going out, so you get a mixed audience as well. It attracts all sorts.
Definitely, yeah. And I think that's what the Gaiety, to me, is all about, really. You know, I think we're very good at doing our own things on the Isle of Man, but when you mix it all together, I think that doesn't come along that often. So the Gaiety, to me, is a perfect place for that.
So it's at the Gaiety. When is it?
It's on the 5th of December, which is a Thursday night, yeah, 5th of December.
I love the fact we're talking about, and there's all these bangs and thumps coming upstairs.
Yeah.
Upstairs.
Yeah, don't worry,
Mums
the builders
and
aren't
tots
still in.
upstairs.
Yes.
Goodness me, what are they doing?
I don't know whether it's the tots or the mums, but they're very lively, very lively. It's a good sign.
Where can people get tickets from?
So that's on villagaiety.com, and you just go onto the booking system there, or phone up. I think you can do it the old-fashioned way. So.
Quite right.
You can hold your poster up. We've got a video running here, so there's a poster
Winterfest.
detailing everything that's happening. Were you playing as well?
I'm playing as part of the house band here, so Malcolm Stitt and the Lawrences, which many people do know. And of course, we've got the wonderful Dot Tilbury.
You can't have Christmas without Dot Tilbury.
Well, you can't really, you know, and she'll be sort of introducing the Michael players to do a play. And we've got Trinity Academy of Irish Dance and Rebecca Cool. And of course, the wonderful Gareth Moore, who lots of people know. So it's going to be a packed stage.
Wonderful, Dave. Thanks so much for popping in to tell us about that. That's Thursday, December the 5th at the Gaiety Theatre.
Absolutely. So, but we've got just time to ask Peter again a question about the fires, because I was thinking, we looked at these marvellous fires as we cross over here, and I was merely going to say, we were saying that they've done all these halls again. Are these fantastic old fireplaces actually workable now, are they? Does anyone know around these?
Well, no. When we did a bit of renovation work, there's actually a slate set in with holes drilled through, so it'll ventilate. But I think if you lit a fire there'd be more smoke coming into the room than going up the chimney. And it's a damn nuisance for Father Christmas when he comes down. You know?
It is, and to be fair, Beth, if you look at them, they're quite small fireplaces, I suppose, on the scale of things.
So you wouldn't want to have too
unless
many
you want
mince
to
pies.
be, you could be Father Christmas. I mean, if you were Father Christmas, you could probably just about to get down that space, I'd imagine.
There's a few issues with that, which we won't go into now, but this is Late Lunch live from St. Peter's Hall in Onchan. We're going to have the parish or village debate after 2 o'clock, and we're also going to be talking to some of the other people who use this hall, including the Mums and Tots group upstairs,
and you can hear them
Jackie
busy.
Hawk as well. I know, what are they doing?
Busy.
Do you think they're fighting for biscuits? You're going to be joining the scrum soon,
They're on a
aren't
little
you?
tractor, that's what it is.
Is that what that is? Oh, you had a go at that, didn't you? Oh, bless you. So check out all the photographs and videos there on the Manx Radio Facebook page. The news is coming up next. It's Edwin Collins on Manx Radio, and this is Late Lunch live from Onchan. Why are you laughing at me?
I wasn't laughing, just smiling. I was just being happy. That's what it's all
is that
about.
what you were?
Yeah, we're here at Onchan Village Hall. The sun is out. It's a lovely day. It's a busy place here. What's not to smile about?
Okay, your smile scared me, just so you know.
Well, that's great news,
it's Beth Howard and Christy here. If you go to the Manx Radio Facebook page, you'll be able to see some of the video and photographs that Christy has been taking over the past hour. Still so much to talk about. And I think something was mentioned just before the news about some of the people who use the hall, and Jackie Hawkes and Sonia Callan are with us, and Stage 1 drama. How many children do you reckon you've seen through this hall?
Oh my goodness, I often think about trying to count them up, but we've been running for 26 years. We started with just 10, but we did grow up to 170, so I think we're into thousands, aren't we?
And what makes it such a good space, Jackie?
Oh, it's just perfect, and even more so now that we have the extra room down here. And what the little ones really love is the stage. You know, it's, can we go on the stage? And that's a lovely thing to do with them, to stand up, let them project their voices out to the back of the hall. And they really feel that it's a proper performance space.
That's what H said, actually, as soon as we came in, didn't you?
It is, yeah, it does feel that.
Can I go on stage?
Can I go on stage, yeah. Get on the stage with some of the kids' toys and just whiz along and make a lot of noise. But it's a great way to learn, though, isn't it? Because I don't know, I didn't learn that when Sonia, you've been obviously treading the boards for years or something. Do you have any training like that? Or do you think it's wonderful to be able for kids to be able to start out from an early age training up like this?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I think, as Jackie was saying, they love the fact there is a stage and they migrate towards it, the gravity some that leads towards the stage. And we have, in fact, done some concerts here for the hall, to help raise funds for the hall, and that's been a really good experience because we rehearse on the stage, we clear it. Sometimes Peter has made a little set, and it's a sense of occasion as well that comes with the hall.
And what sort of ages do you actually get coming along to stage one?
We start from reception, school reception, and then up to 18. Yeah, so the full spectrum of school ages.
And Jackie, is there any room at stage one at the moment?
Well, yes, we never turn people away.
You sound like Elaine, who does the booking here.
We are busy, but we do have spaces in quite a few classes. We run drama classes during the week on Wednesday and Thursdays after school, and musical theatre classes. Our senior one is on a Tuesday evening, but all of the other classes from 4 up to 13 years of age, 14 possibly, are on Saturdays. So yeah, we wouldn't turn anybody away.
And in those 20 plus years that you've been going, presumably you've seen people who've started here and gone on to carry on with this sort of thing in their careers.
Well, yes, you're absolutely
rub
right.
It in, Beth, rub it in, yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean it like that. You know what I meant.
Jack
do
Nicholson,
know.
yeah.
So, of course, probably the most well-known is Samantha Barks.
Oh, I think I've heard of her.
Yes, yeah. So Sam joined us when she was about 13 for musical theatre. Of course, she wasn't here too long before she got into arts ed at 16 years of age, and the rest is history, isn't it? But along with Sam, there are a few more that are making a name for themselves. Matt Cannell, now Matt Chase, is it Matt Chase? Yeah. Who is going to be starring in Peter Pan back here at the Gaiety at Christmas. Young Ben Karen started with us at 8 years of age, I think.
And Georgia as well.
Georgia Maddox, yeah. So
how wonderful to be part of that.
Oh, it is. It really is very special. Of course, it's not only about producing the stars of the future. In fact, it's far from that. It's really the lessons are designed to give the young people confidence. And, you know, there are so many people that I meet now as adults who tell me that that's exactly what happened. And probably the best story to share is about a young man who is actually a doctor. And I was at A&E late one night with my dad, and I didn't even know he'd gone into medicine, but I saw him and I thought, oh, I hope he comes our way, but he didn't. But when we were leaving, I said, good evening, Roger. And he turned and I said, oh, you don't remember me? And he said, I do. You were my speech and drama teacher, and I just want to thank you for everything you ever did. That was great story.
How wonderful.
Oh, it's fantastic when you get something like this. And do you think you've seen an increase? Because it seems to me that, you know, when I was growing up, not that many people did drama at a young age now. Now there seems to be a really massive interest from an early age for so many children to actually take up drama. What do you think's driven that?
I think it's a mixture of things. People, like we started the musical theatre class, and there wasn't that type of class at the time. You could go and do everything separately. So all of a sudden, children had another thing to go to, and then production companies started doing shows that included more children, and then they started putting on more children's shows. And myself doing the pantomimes, you know, we'd have a lot of children in, which then led them to want to go and do more training, and so it's just grown and grown and grown.
And how brilliant that Stage One is here. Jackie, if anybody wants to find out more, how do they find you?
Well, they can contact us. We have a Facebook page, we have a website, stageonedrama.com, and telephone number 452 633.
Wonderful. Jackie, Sonia, so lovely to see you this afternoon. Thanks for popping in. I feel like we're
you
hosting
You
it.
did drama, didn't you?
I did, yeah. Yeah, I did. Can you tell?
You went to Stage One, did you know?
I didn't,
No,
no,
okay.
no. Probably would have been better if I had.
Well,
but
that's
anyway.
true. Yeah, too late now.
You know how it's Friday?
I do.
I think we should have a song about being Monday. The Bangles with Manic
it was another
Monday.
month. You're just looking forward to the next week already. It's too fast. It's too fast.
I do like that song though, but what would it be? Frantic Friday. We could have changed the words maybe, but
Frantic
anyway.
Friday.
Do you know what we're going to do?
Head upstairs?
We are going to head upstairs. Right. It's Late Lunch on Manx Radio, live from Onchan this afternoon. We're going to go and brave the Mums and Tots group. You're going to wrestle some toddler to the ground to get a biscuit, and we're also going to have some live music from the stage. We'll be back after this. It's Mika on Manx Radio with So Beautiful. We are live from, you told me it was Mika, I think it was
You
James
did.
Morrison actually. It is, I have no idea. See, I've just been too busy watching Howard playing with Play-Doh. We have lost him in the Mums and Tots group.
Well, I'm down
here
at the
in
table
Onchan.
here, yeah. I mean, it's all going. You can't beat Play-Doh, can you?
You cannot beat Play-Doh. It's just a very satisfying thing to play with, to make things with.
And that smell. That
Yes.
great Play-Doh smell. It's just wonderful. And it's sort
Okay.
of, there's Play-Doh in every colour here, and there's all sorts of, there's little presses, and there's, you can make the flowers. And I was thinking of making a Play-Doh kangaroo.
Well, you do that, and I'll speak to Jill Dugdale, who's the leader of the Mums and Tots group here at Onchan. And what a busy place this is, Jill.
It's not as busy as it used to be.
Really? How long have you been involved?
19 years.
Wow, and it's just great, isn't it, to have a safe space for people to bring their children, especially on a Friday afternoon. It's sometimes difficult to know what to do with them, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. This is where they come to chill out. They call this their chill afternoon. We don't do anything really constructive, you know, they just want children to play and mums to freak.
Yeah, and it's great to be able to have a cup of tea and a biscuit as well. Is that on offer here?
Oh yes, tea, coffee, juice, whatever.
Brilliant. And so is this open to just people in Onchan, or is anybody welcome?
Oh no, everybody's welcome.
And so what are the times that it runs on a Friday?
1:15 to 3.
Fantastic. Jill, I think we really have lost Howard now. How's
No,
he doing with
I have
the
actually done,
Play-Doh?
if you look now,
Very, very good.
Star.
Wow, that's
and
incredible.
a flower, and a fish, and I'm just finishing off my kangaroo.
Right, okay. Can we pull you away from that for a moment?
Oh, go on then.
Okay, just leave that there.
You're impressed, aren't you?
I mean, I'm slightly impressed. Yeah, okay. You didn't get any help at all, I'm sure.
No help at all, no. It was all my own work, wasn't it? It was all my own work, yep.
I can't believe how busy this place is. It's absolutely
Hive
incredible.
of activity.
Let's talk to Ruth Kelly here now. Now, Ruth, you're here for a very special reason. Tell us about it.
Well, I'm here on behalf of the Alabama Victorian Society, and we have great pleasure in presenting a cheque for the hall for its ongoing restoration. A door in particular is what we're paying for, but I'd like to hand this over to Peter Corey, on behalf of the Victorian Society, and
That's
I
great.
have great
Thank you,
pleasure in
Ruth.
doing
That's just what we need. You know, the more the better. But what this money has helped us to do is to restore some of the original features of the hall. A lot of it's been about repairs, but where we've been able to, with the great help of Peter Kelly, who's given us a lot of advice on the background to the building, we've replaced some old sort of 1950s replacement doors with the proper wooden doors, you know, as they were and as you can see around the hall.
How wonderful.
it's,
So, Ruth, how was that money raised?
that money basically is raised by us running the camera obscura up on Douglas Head. So we have a band of volunteers who do that during the summer season, and we have a kitty which has funds in it for similar projects like this. So we have actually used the hall on a number of occasions. We had a fashion show in here some years back with the late Daphne Corlett.
We were hearing about that
You were
earlier,
hearing
actually,
about
yes.
that, were you? Yes. And also we celebrated 150th anniversary dinner here. We've tried to utilise the hall as much as we can because we love the atmosphere in here. As you can see, it's a brilliant atmosphere, and generations like these children that you're hearing in the background can grow up and appreciate.
Absolutely, and,
Yeah.
and I think that the money as well, you were saying, it is an ongoing work, really, the restoration. There's always something
Well,
going.
the major part of the restoration has now been finished, but there's always some things that need doing. Like, for instance, in the hall, we need to spend about $3,500 on refurbishment of some of the stained glass windows, just to make sure they're safe and all that sort of thing. So there's always a need for money. We've got a bit of wet rot in the porch as well. But fortunately, there are things that are now contained that we can keep on top of now we've got the main work done.
How wonderful, and that £700 will go some way to assisting with that. Ruth Kelly, thank you so much. Lovely to be part of that this afternoon.
It is, isn't it? And you
Now-
can hear just how lively it's been here. Wow.
I tell you, it's going to get even livelier in a moment.
Excellent.
Because Jeff Jepson is on the stage here in the main hall. I'm
He's a
going to
brave
try
lad.
and get up there as well. I'm just going to...
Do you want to shove? No, you can do
Oh
it.
my goodness me. Right, I hope this isn't on video. Oh, good, it is. Wonderful. Great. I would have done that slightly more gracefully.
That was
had
very,
I known. Hey, Jeff. How are you doing?
Good moves getting on stage.
Thank you. You've got some events coming up?
We've got a big Christmas charity gig that I've been doing with our good friends in Truman Falls. So this is our 4th year of doing it. It's St Ninian's Church in Douglas, and it's on Friday the 13th of December. So it's a lovely kind of Christmas extravaganza, and we're raising money for GRI, the homelessness charity on the Isle of Man.
Fantastic. And you have agreed very kindly to sing for us on the main stage. I don't think the toddlers know what's going to happen yet, but what are you going to sing for us now?
This will be a new audience for you.
I know, it really will.
It's a song called Test You Out, which seems appropriate.
It really does. Jeff Jepson.
Play to worse crowds. So.
Let's hope you don't get booed off stage. No, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Jeff Jepson, take it away.
Test you out, you can test me too. A no commitment trial to see if I'll do. Just so we know if this game we play is worth throwing everything we know away before you decide to be free. Why don't you test yourself with me? Can we have a taste before we dive into the frying pan of life? Before we spin a world of pain, let's see if it's worth changing the course of history. Can I test you out? You can test me too. A no commitment trial to see if I'll do. Just so we know if this game we play is worth throwing everything we know away before you decide to be free. Why don't you test yourself with me? With me. And if we pass, then let's set sail for sunset dreams and fairy tales. And if by any chance we fail, oh, we better sink our little love boat and bail. Can I test you out? You can test me too. A no commitment trial to see if I'll do. Just so we know if this game we play is worth throwing everything we know away before you decide to be free. Why don't you test yourself with me? Can I test you out? You can test me too. A no commitment trial to see if I'll do. Just so we know if this game we play is worth throwing everything we know away before you decide to be free. Why don't you test yourself with me? With
Well
There you go. And
I love
the masses. The guys loved it. And there's look, you've got some groupies.
You have got some groupies, and one of them's got a little harmonica. How brilliant! Oh,
in.
Jeff Jepson, absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Brilliant. How do you follow that then?
That's not an easy act to follow, that one, is
Oh,
it? It's
listen,
terrific.
listen.
Hang on. Keep
Oh.
going.
Oh, that was brilliant
It was so
harmonica
good.
playing there in the
That was
background.
top
Oh.
work, top work.
This is Late Lunch live from Onchan here on Manx Radio, and in a moment, H, we are going to have the Village Hall Parish Hall debate.
Oh, you
ready?
started this one, didn't
I know.
you? You started this
I know.
realistically, yeah.
We'll be back after this. That is Tattoo here on Late Lunch on Manx Radio. All the things she said. I'm confident I've got the right group and right song title there. Unlike earlier, can I just tell you what happened? I don't like to dob people in, but I'm going to.
You are going to, yeah.
So,
you will.
Alex Brindley is very kindly pushing the buttons for us back at Broadcasting House, and because we're having so many conversations here, I wasn't actively listening to the song that was playing, so of course asked Alex, who was that artist? He gave me the wrong one.
Oh,
on
honestly,
purpose.
honestly.
Yeah.
You need to be working with professionals.
I know, right? I wish there were some around here. The only professional I can find is Christy DeHaven, but I'm going to come over here now because I reckon she's just shoved a biscuit in her mouth.
Thank you. I've literally just finished eating one. That was good timing.
Okay. Very good, very good.
And better still, the tea's arrived. The tea has arrived. They're wonderful.
Tea has arrived.
Yeah, tea and biscuits.
It's time for the debate then. Are we ready? The Parish Hall, Village Hall debate. Would you like to stick your neck on the line, Christy DeHaven, and say what you think this hall here should be called?
Oh no, I couldn't possibly do that because Peter Kelly's sitting in the corner and he knows the right answer, and I know that he'd get very angry if I said the wrong thing.
I love the fact he's looking around as he can't actually quite hear us. Let's go and have a chat with Peter then. Let's go.
He's got the
Peter
tea,
Kelly,
right
enjoying tea and a biscuit. You haven't got your mouth full right now?
No.
Good. We were talking earlier about whether we should refer to this as a village hall or a parish hall. Can you give us the definitive answer, please?
Yes.
Would you like Okay.
Right, we'll move on.
Right, okay. Back in 1895, it was decided that Onchan needed a village hall. It also needed a bigger Sunday school. The Sunday school was in what's now called Welsh House. So they set to, they had a big bazaar in the grounds at Government House. They raised £800, this is 1895, in one day, and they started to build a combined village hall and Sunday school. And when it opened, was opened by the Lieutenant Governor, it was the village hall. And it remained the village hall. The trustees were the captain of the parish and the vicar. And then they never had enough money to cover it. The builder had built it, but they still owed money. So then St. Peter's Church chipped in. And at that point, the wardens also became trustee. But it remained as the village hall until Canon Duffield, who decided to call it St. Peter's Hall. And so he named it St. Peter's Hall. When Canon Bagley came along, he didn't want it to be St. Peter's Hall because it didn't and still doesn't belong to the church. So he called it the Parish Hall. But us old and awkward buggers still call
Apologies for the language.
By its original name, which is the Village Hall.
There we go.
There you go. Is that
Village Hall?
A definitive answer?
Everybody happy in the room? Yeah, I think we've got nods of approval there. It's Village Hall. Peter, thank you very much indeed. We have mentioned the Victorian Society, which of course this afternoon has played a huge part in helping promote and keep this building as it is. For those of people listening who may be interested in the Victorian Society, do you welcome all members?
Well, we've got 300 and something, but yeah, we're quite happy to take it up to 1,000. So if anybody wants to get in touch, they could ring my number at home. I'm the only Peter Kelly in the phone book. There's lots of P. Kellys, but I'm the only Peter Kelly.
Wonderful, so very easy to find. Might come back and speak to you.
And we're talking about members as well, Beth. You've got members of the Victorian Society. There's also, of course, the committee here as well, which we've been hearing about the sterling work being done by the committee. And I suppose as the work continues, there's always need for, I suppose, fresh blood to come in quite often.
There is. Well, I think we may have said before that certainly Joan, Elaine and I have been on the committee 25 years next year. At some point we will need to step down, and we're looking for some people to join us.
You're good for another 25 years, are you?
Well, yes. Well, we would be, I'm sure, yes. No, we do need somebody to come along and join us. Somebody who, wants to take more of an interest in the hall and take part in looking after it, really.
Yeah. And joking aside, that is the thing, isn't it? You always need to get fresh blood coming through. And that you, again, people with enthusiasm, people who want to give up their time to help and keep it sort of rolling onward for the future generations.
It's been great fun in the past. Everybody that's been on the committee will tell you, anybody who's attended any of the events we've had in the hall, it's been great fun putting them on and enjoying the evenings. Wendy McDowell was here before. She put fantastic music on for us. And we've made a lot of money out of those events. But we just need fresh blood, as you say, to come along. So anybody who's out there listening who feels they might be interested in, being something to do with a place like this, please get in touch.
And what's the best way to do that?
Well, you can contact Elaine and I. We've got a Facebook page, so that's probably the best and easiest way to do it, I would say.
And I'm guessing there are a wide range of roles, because in terms of commitment, it's not necessarily...
Well, there is, yeah. Unfortunately, it does tend to sort of drift down to one or two people doing a lot of the work. And when you run a building like this, you know, it's not just opening the door and letting people in. You've got health and safety, fire protection, safeguarding of children. You know, all these things need to be looked at as well. So the more people we have, you know, different people could take on different aspects of the role. Yeah, so that's what we need.
So a range of skills required.
Yes. Yeah.
And you were mentioning some marvellous nights. Anyone got any particular nights or events they remember during the years over the hall? Anything that stands out in the mind? You think, you know, gosh.
Yes, that was our last big
the
fundraiser.
very last one that we had. It was a Christmas one, and
yes.
Peter had decorated the back of the stage and everywhere. It was lovely, wasn't it?
And Wendy did.
And Wendy did.
Sort of Jackie Black's
Yes.
children
They'd entertained
did
us.
singing.
Yeah.
And it was really marvellous.
Yeah.
I mean, we did a sort of Victorian themed stage set, and we didn't really know, but they were rehearsing something to do with Christmas Carol, you know, Charles Dickens. So it just was absolutely perfect. Yeah. So it was a really wonderful night. Yeah.
And Keith Watson, Chair of Onchan Heritage, who we were talking to a little bit earlier in the programme, we asked Peter Kelly if he remembered the first time he came in here. Do you remember your first time?
I don't actually remember the first time, no, because I'm not born and bred in Onchan. I'm from over the bridge.
Are you allowed to say that in here?
I think it's fairly well known. So I married a girl who'd been an Onchan girl and came to live in the village. So probably joining a society. I know I joined the Onchan Men's Fellowship, and we actually met in this room. So yes, I've seen a big difference in the standard of this room here, particularly. That no longer functions anymore, the Men's Fellowship, but I don't know. Probably that, I suppose, was my first time, unless it was just a random concert or something that we came to.
But it clearly, to everybody that we've spoken to, young and slightly older today, it holds such a special place in people's hearts.
Yes, it's iconic, isn't it? You know, whether you're outside looking at it or inside looking up at it, you know, the ceiling in there, the artwork, the architecture is fantastic. It's individual. It's not replicated anywhere else on the island, is it? It's got a style all of its own.
And in terms of Onchan Heritage, we were talking about, you know, the importance of members, but people who are interested in history and heritage, how can they get involved with you?
Right. Probably the easiest way, like Peter said before, is Facebook these days. I know not everybody does social media, but Friends of Onchan's Heritage have a Facebook page. Otherwise, give me a tinkle at home, 661 078. We're in the phone book. Keith Watterson at Abbeylands, that will find me.
That's nice and easy. And I'm just going to cross over back to Peter Kelly for a second, Beth, because we were just talking about the importance of restoration and the work that's been going on here all the time. And I was just going to ask you before we finish, Peter, is it important or is it difficult when you're doing restoration to do it sensitively and make sure that it's done right in keeping with the building?
Yes, it is, and it requires a lot of attention to detail. It requires historical knowledge of what things were and how they were done. And so in this room, everything has just been put back. So although it's a brand new floor, a few years ago, there was actually grass growing here. The old floor had been taken up. The boarding has been put back. It was on 2 walls, but not the 4. And the beam up there served a purpose. If you look carefully, there's actually a couple of holes on the underside. When the building opened, this was a dual purpose room, and they could divide it. And in fact, one part was the reading room for Onchan, and the other was the men's club. And they had skittles and bagatelle. And there is a newspaper description of the governor paying a visit, and in the reading room the gentlemen were smoking their pipes and reading their papers, and in the other room they're using the bagatelle and so on. So the beam was left in, and it was left in with the holes. What had happened over the years, it actually put 2 heating pipes, one either side, and encased it, so you had what appeared to be a massive beam, but in reality it wasn't. So it's all gone back. The fireplaces have gone back. even though Father Christmas can't get down anymore. But they had been messed about. There were those big gas heaters in front of them. So, yeah, as far as possible, everything is as was.
Splendid.
Do you know what? So much more we could talk
Beautiful,
about.
thank you.
Thank you to everybody for making us so welcome here this afternoon. Just want to thank our on-site engineer, Matty Cunningham, who's had his tea and biscuits and sitting very quietly in the corner. Alex Brinney pushing the buttons back at Broadcasting House.
Well, yeah, more or less.
Yeah, pretty much. And Christy D for producing all the social media. There will be a podcast available. You'll be able to find that at maxradio.com, powered by Miller Chaps of Ramsey. Do you want another biscuit?
Yeah, and I haven't finished my tea yet.
Oh, and you haven't finished making stuff with your Play-Doh. So we'll head back upstairs and enjoy the rest of our afternoon. You have a great time, whatever you're doing, and we will be back on Monday.